quietly, and we are live, guys. I am back from the dead. So sorry.
You were worried about her. You were not looking well there for a week. That was...
No, I had glandular fever, and for the last couple of weeks I've been in bed, but the first week there was 8 days I couldn't eat, and I was very weak and going through what I was going through. But I had some really big spiritual awakenings and visions about the Conscious Crypto event that we're doing coming up in September. October. So hopefully you've got those tickets for that. The link is in the description below. I can drop it in here. But say hi. Hi, Teresa.
Hello, good to see you guys. Yeah, I've been taking her soup for the last 2 weeks. She was not doing well. But we're glad to see you back amongst the land of the living, that's for sure.
Indeed, yes. Great. So guys, hi. Say hello. Put your mark in the comment section. Today's live stream is going to be assessing the monthly candles and the current patterns within the hour in terms of where we're heading for September. Before we start, Teresa, do you want to talk about how you were saying that September was Shemitah year, and also what Crypto Love says we can often see a dump at the end of the month or even into October? Should we start there?
Yeah, this is something some of our favorite YouTubers talk about this. Jeroen van Langen talks about this, the Shemitah cycle a lot, which is a 7-year cycle on the Jewish calendar. And when we get a Shemitah year, we often see a major market correction sometime in that year. Sometimes it happens at the beginning of the year. Sometimes it happens at the end of the year. That year is starting in September, right? So that's something to start paying attention to, because that, similar to what we were talking about with the Saturn retrograde, how that has kind of a constraining effect, that can have a constraining or a corrective effect on the markets. Now, whether it will have the same effect when we've been in a couple years of correction, right? Because the stock markets have been very soft already. That'll be interesting to see whether that plays out. The other thing is, note that a lot of the futures contracts, like if you look at Bybit, for example, their futures contracts expire at the end of September and expire at the end of December and expire at the end of March. And remember, we are in a realm here which is deregulated, so it's very open to market manipulation. And there is a lot of speculation amongst YouTubers. Like I've heard DaVinci J15 mention this. I'm trying to think of some of the others who've mentioned it. But often we see a softening or correction in the last 2 weeks of that period. And there's a lot of speculation that that is actually the trading platforms themselves softening the price so they don't have to pay out as much on those expiring contracts. Whether or not that's true, anybody's guess, right? I have no idea whether it's true, but the pattern definitely does tend to repeat. So that's something that's worth paying attention to. We might see a bit of a softening in September. That doesn't mean the bull run's over, just means watch your trades, because you know it can look really bullish and things come back to test all the support lines again.
Yeah, we also have a Mercury in retrograde in September.
Yeah.
So and often Mercury retrograde, if we're in the bull run, continues the bull run, and sometimes it actually, we get a little bit of a drop just before it goes retrograde, and then we go up. So I'm back. I am getting healthier every day. So we'll be back to our normal live stream schedules, walking you through that every step of the way. So let's start with Bitcoin. We're going to do Ethereum and we're going to do XRP. If we get time and if we get enough likes, and you comment, I'll do ADA as well, because ADA is potentially due for a little bit of a rally and then a big dump. So let us have a look at Bitcoin on the monthly. Oh, good to be back. So here are the monthly candles. This was yesterday. This is where we closed. We closed just in the resistance zone, 46,977. But since then we opened and we're trading above the resistance zone. See this purple box here with the green lines from the bottom to the top? This is a resistance zone that that you can see we've been in a lot here, it's acted as quite a significant zone to actually get out of, and we're at the top of that. And what do you think, Teresa? We think this might be a bull pennant on the monthly, which means we would be
it's looking a lot like a bull pennant, you know, so
Yeah.
it's, I mean, hard to say. There are some counter indicators that we might, you know, go back into the pattern one more time, but when we break out of that, you know, that could signal the massive run up that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, exactly. And the target is not around 93,000 at the moment. Now, obviously, if we break out a little bit higher, that target's going to be higher. And since we're so close to the golden ratio, we're heading towards 102,000, right?
Yeah.
So, and when would we get there? So according to this pattern, we're looking at that being in January. So I know we're going to be talking a lot about bull run exit strategies at the Conscious Crypto event. If you haven't got your ticket yet, they're going up in price because the early bird specials, have a time frame. We'll be talking about that, and we're also going to do some breakout sessions on helping you get your exit strategies together. Because was it MN Crypto that just recently did a video saying 90% of people in the bull run lose money?
Yeah. Yeah. He was mentioning that on one of his calls. So,
Yeah. And we don't want you losing money in a bull run. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to be ready, right? If you
You've
don't
got to
take
have the
out
right
money.
strategy. So the website for that is theconsciouscryptoevent.com/2021, and the link is in the description below this video so that you can get the last chance to get the early bird special. So anyway, let's have a look at Bitcoin and where we're going. We've had some signs to show like we're hitting up against this monthly resistance, right? This line here has acted as monthly resistance. We're almost coming up to the top of it, which means that we could either break to the upside or we could reverse and come back down and test 40,900, even 35,000 as a lower number when we go into that dip, which could happen end of September, maybe October, maybe a little bit earlier, but let's see. So we go down into the weekly. This was a very interesting weekly candle, Teresa. See this spinning top, red spinning top?
Yeah, really.
And now look at where we're at right now. We've got a hammer. Is this a hammer? This is a hammer, right?
It's a really flat hammer. Normally a hammer's thicker than that, but yes, it's a very flat hammer.
Yeah. So what we want to be watching for, guys, is 49,554. Write that down. 49,554 is this top resistance. We might go up to 51, 300 as a what do you call it, as a wick, and then possibly come back down. But really, I think we're in a critical moment because this is the 1st of September, and the pinnacle of this triangle is around the 17th of January. Often we break out earlier, maybe the end of December, beginning of January, right? So that's when we're scheduled to break out according to this pattern. Now we can always break out of this pattern earlier. And look at this, Teresa. I've actually just noticed this. That's a bigger W than on the daily.
Yeah, look at that. Sorry, I just noticed that too. I'm like, whoa, that's a serious W on the daily.
That's a serious W, guys.
Yeah.
So nice. The neckline is here, and we're right at the neckline.
Yeah.
Right? We're right at the neckline.
Yeah.
Look at that. So that is going to take us to wherever it breaks out, which let's put it on this green candle here. And I'm just going to move that to the left so we can see that. That's going to take us up to 70,000. That's exciting. So we're going to get into price exploration, because I think the last all-time high was 64,951. And we're headed up to 70,260 approximately. on the weekly. Now, you must remember patterns on the monthly, the weekly, and the daily are far more likely to pay out. What's the percentage, Teresa?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my
Is
head, but
it
it's something like
80%
70%
or
more,
90%?
70 to 80% more. Bulkowski
Yeah.
talks about that in his book. So the
Yeah.
longer the time horizon that the pattern you're trading, the higher the probability you'll make money on it.
That it's and that it's going to play out. Whereas the patterns on the 1 hour often can get invalidated. So we've got some big as bullish patterns for Bitcoin on the longer time frame over the coming months. So let's zoom in and have a look at what's going on right now, because we are coming up against those resistance lines. And see this green line here, that's a major resistance line that we've broken above. So we could come back down to 48,000 to retest that before going up. But to me, Teresa, this looks like we could be forming a bull flag.
Yeah.
Could be a bull pennant. We don't know yet, but
something to watch, that's for sure.
Something to watch. So the trade would be, and I think this is going to be a very careful trade, because this is going to take us out of the big monthly pattern, which means we'll have a breakout or a fake out, right? So I wouldn't be holding the trade open. 50,000 is if this is a bull flag, like after a few hours of candles, the flag could start going like this, right? Or it could actually end up being a bull pennant. We don't know. I'm just drawing these lines in here to just, speculate. And as the hourly candles go by, I will redraw the lines. Now, we don't know where it's going to break out, but it looks like we're heading towards 50,000. Do you want to share your screen and show if there's any divergences on the 1 and the 4? And
the one thing I'm not seeing a whole lot of divergences, but there is one indicator flashing. Sorry, I'm on the wrong. It's worth noting, and it's this one, the Williams VIX fix, which is a combination of stochastics and volume indicators. It's flashing a short signal right now, and this is a reasonably solid indicator, right? And that's on the weekly. So that's kind of interesting, right? Because we've been forming this bigger pattern on the weekly. So even though we've got lots of indicators that the bottom is behind us, like if we flip over to the daily on Bitcoin, we've seen the miners hash rate recapitulation, we've seen the break of a lot of these trends in the RSI. So we're not seeing any immediate divergences that are signaling bullish or bearish. But my gut is saying trade cautiously right now, because that bull pennant that Nicola was just showing you on the weekly, we might be coming back down into the pennant before we go out, or we might be seeing a fake out and then come back into the pattern, right? You always have to remember we are in a deregulated realm. This is the one thing that is unique about cryptocurrency from any other trading in the entire planet, right? We are deregulated. There are no regulators watching over the shoulder. So we know there's market manipulation going on, which is why we're now getting used to seeing busted patterns where it looks like it's breaking out, then it does a U-turn, comes back into the pattern, breaks out into the opposite direction. Now, the good news is when you see a busted pattern, the probability that it's going to break out hard and meet the target in the opposite direction really increases, right? So once a pattern busts, you can have a lot more confidence in the opposite reaction. That's something that's really interesting to note here, right? But I'm just, because of this one indicator, this Williams VIX fix, I am just being a little bit cautious right now. I think we might cycle into that bull pennant one more time, or fake out and come back into it before we see this penultimate breakout that we're going for.
Yeah. Also, like if we look at it on the shorter time frames, because everything that we're saying, guys, you must remember that we are talking on time frames. So on the 1 hour, if we bring in the Ichimoku Cloud, the Ichimoku Cloud is looking, is looking like it's getting ready to do a bit of a correction. So we've gone up in the opposite direction of the cloud. You see the red cloud here. And we've actually got about a reversal. Can you see the conversion? The baseline is red and the conversion line is green. They're about to cross over. So that's bullish, even though we're in a red cloud. So the bottom line is when you're looking at trading this, in my personal opinion, I will go for, like putting the trade in and then taking 50% out at 20% profit maybe, right? So that at least I get profit out of the trade if it comes crashing back down on me. And right now, whenever we have formed these bull flags, especially because we're coming right up to a resistance zone, these can be dangerous because if we go across the top here too long, right, to create the bull flag, we run the risk of a Bart Simpson, in which case we could come back down here to 47,300. So that doesn't mean to say that, don't get into a trade. I am in a trade in Bitcoin from down here at 47,300. So my stop loss is now in profit. If you're entering, you want to wait and see what the next couple of hourly candles do, because we could come back down to retest this resistance line at 48,000, in which case that would be, if we bounce off of 48,000, that's a really good time to enter. And let's have a look at our support and resistance lines. Yeah, we might not go all the way down to 48,000. We could stop at 48,270. So it's a waiting game to get an entry once we come back down to confirm this breakout of this pattern, this yellow pattern here on the hourly. This line here, actually, I think I've got to go over to the daily to get that. Sorry, no, that's a resistance line. It's not a pattern at all. But that's the bull flag too. Look at that.
Yeah, really nice bull flag. And we often see this where we're right up against the resistance of a bigger pattern, and therefore we create a bull flag against that resistance, right? And so, we might still be seeing, another candle in this bull flag or two before the breakout happens.
Yeah, and this could also be a descending channel. Look at this. We've got a very clear lower highs and very clear lower lows, although we just started to create a higher low right there. So this could be the breakout of the channel, which means at the very least we're going to 50,500 when we break out. And then we could reverse down. Now, because we've got that signal on the weekly, that doesn't mean to say that any minute now we're going to crash. Sometime during this week, we may get a correction, which stands to reason, Teresa, because on Thursdays and Fridays, we normally see a correction anyway, right?
Whoops, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Yes, very common that we see a correction at the end of the week.
Yeah. So the bottom line is that you want to be looking for a position to get in here to ride this up to 50 grand. If we continue to do that, if you're not already in a Bitcoin trade. And for me personally, I would be looking at a correction down to retest this 48,000 or 48,270 as a support line, bounce off of that, Ichimoku Cloud looking good, and then off we go. And then obviously we want to pull in the 4 EMA, and you can see that we're just crossing, the red has just crossed under the blue.
Yeah.
Right. So when we've got on this 4 EMA, when we've got blue, green, yellow, red, which we'll probably get within the next hour, that's the time to enter the long as well. So within the next hour, you could be looking at a really good entry point. I mean, even if we don't come all the way back down and retest this, draw your lines in for your bull flag potential to see what the bottom of that is going to be. So that is that. And as I said, the target is 50,000, possibly 50,500. So I would probably take 50% profit at 49,500 or something like that, and then leave the other 50% in for there. And if we break out of that bigger pattern, you can always scale back in with that when we break out there as well. So we'll be following that.
Yeah.
So
we're right up against the resistance right now, but there isn't a whole lot of volume above us. So we might see the breakout on the pattern. Oh, look, it just jumped.
Look at that.
Actually.
Look at it go, guys.
Yeah.
This might not even be a bull flag. Because this could still be the bull flag pole, right?
Yeah.
So let's just watch that formulation.
It's up against the last of the volume.
Yeah.
Like if you look on the 1 hourly, let me share my screen for a sec, because I've got it up here. I'm just looking at the VPVR here on the hourly, right? And there's just a couple of volume spikes left. If it makes it through these volume spikes, then we could be in price discovery here in terms of the pattern, because at the moment there's nothing above it. Now that said, the big traders can come in quickly. Like we could, so don't use this as a basis of trading. This is just something to watch to help you make your decisions of whether you're closing out trades. Because we can see massive institutional traders come in a heartbeat and put a schwack load of volume in 5 seconds, and all of a sudden there's a hard stop on the price, right? Yeah. So I don't trade volume like I would trade a pattern, but it is something I watch. And so this is interesting. Very little volume above us right now, right? But, we've got this multi-day resistance that we're up against. And I mean, you could draw this different ways. You could draw this at the top of the candles or the top of the wicks. And usually there's people in the market trading it both ways. So I pay attention to both, right? But, if we do start creating a bull flag, like it wicked up there, but we could end up creating a bull flag along this resistance before we head upward, right? So those little wicks upwards, they could just be these little candle wicks that we're seeing, right? So I don't trade them, I don't enter on them, but it's it's fun to watch them and see what's going on. I did take profit out here though, because I think given what the Williams VIX fix is showing us, there's some odds that we're going to come around and create at least a bull flag here, if not go back down into the pattern. So I took profit out here. I'm going to scale back in.
Look at that price, 50,600. So we just reached those targets that I was talking about. I said we're going to 50,000, possibly even 50,500, and we just reached it, which means I'm out of that trade. Yeah. So awesome. And look, it's these wicks can do it. Although, no, hang on a second. On my chart, it's not showing it.
Oh, you know what though? I was looking at the futures. See, so one of the
okay.
So I trade the expiring futures on Bybit. So I'm looking at their chart. The interesting thing about that is it's always $800 to $900 more expensive on price than the regular Bybit inverse perpetual contracts, right?
Yeah.
I trade these ones though because there's no funding fees on them. But as soon as, like right now I'm trading the ones that expire in December. But as soon as the March contracts come up, I'll switch over and start trading those, because I find then holding open multi-day trades, you're just paying a lot lower funding fees. So when you're doing a multi-day scale in and scale out strategy, it's just, it's nicer not to be paying those fees every 8 hours. You're just taking the risk, though, that your trades will get closed out at the end of September, the end of December. But I tend to not be trading on that time horizon anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
So, guys, if you're not with Bybit, it's the platform that everybody is using in the crypto trading world. There are lots of other platforms out there as well. I have several. You don't want to probably just be stuck with one once you get into it. But the link for the Bybit, if you're not already with Bybit, is below. And Teresa has done a whole lot of tutorials on how to use Bybit. So if you go over to our playlist, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. You will see the playlist for Bybit, and we've been meaning to do a video on all of the new options that Bybit have got come in, like the spot trading and everything like that, which we'll get onto soon. So make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell and click all so you get notified. We are uploading tutorial videos. We are a tutorial channel. We are teaching you how to margin trade and spot trade. how to do technical analysis. And it's all free. And so we're uploading videos every day, and we're going live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays now that I'm back and well. So that's that for Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum, which has kind of been leading the way. I mean, Ethereum is heading towards $5,259, and then up here at the $7,000 mark for the golden ratio. But if you have a look at this is the cup and handles that we've actually broken out of. Here is the cup, there is the handle, there's the breakout, there's the confirmed breakout, and that's going to take us up to 5393. So we're on the way to higher prices for Ethereum. And, you know, like, will we come back down and retest this cup line at 3,080? We'll have to wait and see. But on the monthly, this is looking very bullish. And we've got 3 monthly green candles for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I think we can say that we're back into the bull season. Yeah.
Yeah, Ethereum's having a great month here, and it really has been leading the pack. So often when I'm trying to figure out what Bitcoin or XRP is going to do, I go look at Ethereum as one of my indicators, because they're tending to play tag with Ethereum, and it definitely is leading the pack this month.
Hey guys, if you're finding this valuable, we would love it if you could like. We are a new channel, and as I said, we're a tutorial channel, so we're teaching you. And if that's of value to you, we would appreciate the energy back and you hitting that like button. Look at this. We've got a divergence here on the daily. High, lower, high, higher.
Yeah, we don't know where that one's stopping out, but yeah, it definitely looks like we haven't had the RSI turnaround yet, so we don't know where it's going to peak. But at the moment, it's looking like it could turn into a divergence.
This could be, yeah. So just watch out for that. I mean, bottom line is that we could, if we're getting a rally today, as a general note, Thursdays and Fridays, we could see a correction. And one of those big corrections, like a 8% correction or a 15% correction, maybe more. But let's niche down into the hour and see where we are with Ethereum, because I think Ethereum's also possibly creating a bull flag, right? It's creating a bull flag right up against this this line here, which is very, that's the line to watch in terms of are we going to get that bearish divergence? At the moment, we don't have any divergences on the smaller timeframes, but look at this. This looks like this could be a classic bull flag.
Yeah. That's looking pretty solid as bull flags go. So we'll probably see 3 or 4 more candles. And, you know, bull flags often trend downward instead of straight across, right?
Yeah.
So there might be a scale in or an entry point when we get to the bottom of this one.
Could even be a bull pennant. You know, we'll just have to see what happens with the next few candles. But at the moment, that is, if we just go to the top of the candles, that's perfect there. So how you trade a bull flag is you wait for the confirmed breakout. You can either get in as soon as we get a clear green candle bottom above the line of 37.47, or you wait till it goes up and then comes back down to retest this as support, bounces off that line, and then you can enter there again, clear green candle bottom above the support line, and then ride this up to 39.355. But my sense of it is if this bull flag plays out, we're going higher than that, just because we've got those other big patterns on those bigger time frames, right? So we will watch that. Look at that, 3,690. I mean, we're starting to get back up into that territory of price discovery. It's really awesome.
I remember back several months ago when we were all like, is Ethereum going to hit 3,000? Is Ethereum going to hit 3,000? And now we're like,
or
way behind
600.
us. Yeah. You know, now we can't even imagine it hitting 3,000 in the other direction, you know? So I'm exaggerating, of course, but yeah,
Hit
it's nice
that
to see
like
these
button.
nice explosions.
Yeah, hit that like button if you want Ethereum to go to 5,000 this week. Yeah. Because look at the Ichimoku Cloud. The Ichimoku Cloud looks like we've got some sideways action happening here, which makes sense, right? And then an elevation to go up. So it's looking good. We've got the baseline is at the bottom, which is good. Conversion line is at the top, which is good. If we turn the Ichimoku Cloud off and bring in the 4 EMA, we've got blue, green, yellow, red. If you're not familiar with the indicators that we use, it would be really good for you to go back to the last live stream we did, because we go through all of the indicators that we're using and how to use them and what settings. So this is looking really bullish, which means this could pull Bitcoin up, right? To those higher realms.
Ethereum has really been the top climber on the mountain, you know, the one sticking the pitons in and roping everybody else up, right? So at the moment, Ethereum is totally leading the pack. So I'm actually using Ethereum as one of my indicators to have a sense of what might be happening on some of the others. I mean, I'm not trading it as an indicator, but it's a good indicator as to what's going on. It's super solid right now.
Yeah. And we did a video on is Ethereum breaking out for the pack. So if you go to our videos and you look at the live stream videos and you look for the one where we talk about is Ethereum breaking away from Bitcoin or leading the pack or what have you, because more often, you know, in the past, Ethereum's always followed Bitcoin, but more often Ethereum's been breaking out before Bitcoin and being more solid and stable. And I personally like trading Ethereum more than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's like, you got to ride the big waves, you know, to get the big wins. So but this is a classic bull flag. Look here, boom.
Yeah, already started the second.
Already started the second candle. You know, so the trade,
you know, something I want to elaborate on that you just said too about the indicators. Like it's really important to get a set of indicators that you feel confident in and have a consistent system for how you look at them and how you trade. One of the reasons we're going to have a whole panel talking about favorite indicators and how to use them at the Conscious Crypto event is because you know, really knowing which are your go-to, which are your solid ones, which ones tell you when to trade, and which ones just give you confidence in the trade, because there's a distinction in those two, right? Because some indicators are lead indicators. In other words, they're really good predictive out into the future. Some are lag indicators. They're basically just saying, yep, you can be confident in that move, or you can be confident that the bottom's behind us. And it's really a good idea to know that distinction. I have both monthly rituals I go through, weekly rituals, daily rituals of checking certain indicators and seeing where we're at on them, because they give me, you know, you always want to have the zoom out macro sense and then the zoom in micro sense, right? So we're going to be diving deep on some of these indicators. I'm really excited that Didi Taihutu is going to be speaking at the Conscious Crypto event, because he is the author of my absolute favorite indicator, the DidiBam. It's actually a paid indicator and it's worth every penny. I think I paid for it within 2-3 trades because it's so helped me nail my entries and my exits so much more solidly.
Good to know. Yeah. Didi's also going to be talking about how to live completely off grid in crypto and not in the fiat currency system, and how he manages to travel the world without using fiat currency. So if you're interested in that, you definitely want to be at this 3-day workshop. There's going to be lots of really good things to learn from that, and prepare you to make the most of the money. Be part of the 10% that's going to make millions in the bull cycle, instead of the 90% that is going to lose it because they hold on too long and they don't sell at the right time. They don't have the right strategy. So let's have a look at XRP. How are you going for time? Oh, we're doing good for time. XRP's broken out of on the monthly. It's broken out of its monthly resistance level, and it's trading above it. Like that green candle bottom is above that resistance line, which I find interesting. This is a weird cup and handle from the last market top to this one here. So that, I mean, for sure we're going to $3 because $3.50, I think, is the all-time high from the last cycle. $10 is the market cycle top that people are predicting, possibly 27,000. But in the short term, XRP is looking really good. It's also trading above this resistance zone here. But we're right under the $1.25 golden ratio resistance, which is, we've been rejected off of quite a bit. Let's have a look on the 4-hourly.
Yeah. You know, and end of August, early September are often soft times in the market. People just have so much going on in their lives this time of year, you know, like end of summer vacation, kids are back to school. I think that is reflected in the markets right across the board, you know, so.
Yeah. So here we go. That looks like that is a bull flag, that we've broken out of that resistance line. This resistance line here, this yellow one here, was this long-term monthly resistance. We've broken out, we've come back down, tested it as support, bounced back off of it, and then once we get above $1.20, actually once we get above here, once we get above $1.25, where this golden ratio is, and we've retested this as support, we could take off, especially because there's such good news coming out of the SEC lawsuit against XRP. And as I had said before, I think that trading on XRP is going to be ignoring the SEC lawsuit. It's like, it's ready to go.
Yeah, it's been held under what it should be as a price point for so long.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like, you know, when you hold a rubber ball underwater that's meant to float and suddenly it gets released, you know, it's woo, right up to the surface, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, for the level of market cap XRP has, it should be trading at least around $3-4 right now, and it's
I'd
not.
say 5. Yeah.
You know, and 7 very reasonable for a coin like this. So I think when it is released, I think we're going to see some very rapid run up. We'll probably see a blow off top in the initial days, and then it'll stabilize out at those higher prices.
Yeah. Now, these types of bull flags are really difficult to trade, because we've got to be careful that this might go on and on and on and become a rising channel, in which case we're going to come back down to $1.15, right? So just watch this. I would want to see a breakout, right? And if it was me personally longing, I might do a scalp where I'll just get in at the bottom here at, you know, around $1.17, maybe a little bit higher, and then ride it up to the golden ratio and take 75% profit out and see what happens, because this is rising, right? The breakout, the longer you leave it to enter, the higher the price is and the lower the profit, right? So this is a really tricky pattern to trade. I'm actually already in a trade. I got in around here at about no, I didn't get into this green line here, about $1.09. So let's have a look on the 1 hour and see if we've got anything more here that we could do. Hey guys, love for you to like the video. We really do appreciate you giving us some energy back for all the energy we put out for you. Yeah, look, Teresa, I think more and more this is looking like a rising channel.
Yeah, it's really got that feel for it. And you know, depending on how you draw your lines, you could almost say there's a pattern forming from the one that was before as well, right?
Yeah.
So and you can always be assured there's traders trading it both ways, you know. But
rising channels tend to break to the downside and then go down to where the first candle touched, which is at around $1.15, 1.159. So write that down, because that could be a good short if that happens. But let's have a look at what's going on with Ichimoku. Ichimoku, I think, is looking bullish. It's looking like it could actually take off this afternoon, right? Towards the end of the New York Stock Exchange closure, and then we go into APEC, Asia Pacific opening up. We
well,
could
and that's
see
what you, oh, sorry.
No,
I apologize. A bit of a delay on the line. I didn't realize you weren't done. That's really what you want to see on an Ichimoku too, where the lagging span is free and clear above the price action, right? So we've not only got a bullish cloud, which is trending upward, and the Tenkan-sen is really nicely above the Kitchen-sen, but the lagging span, the Chiku span is free and clear, not hitting any resistance, not hitting into the price action. That's a really bullish Ichimoku cloud.
Yeah, very bullish. And then if we just turn the Ichimoku cloud off and we come down into the 4 EMA, we've got it's bullish. It's been bullish since it hit $1.13, right? Blue, green, yellow, red. And as I said, if you want to know how to set these up, go back and look at our other videos where we've talked about the indicators to use and how to set them up. So this is looking great. So, I mean, at the bottom line is we're heading towards at least $1.25, and let's see what happens once we get to $1.25, right? So if you want to get in on this trade, if you're not already on in it, you just want to watch for a little bit of a correction. If we come back down to $1.19 or $1.20, and then just ride it up to at least $1.25. I think I've got mine at $1.62. Why have I got, let me go over to my pickup sticks chart. Let me see, well, why have I done that? What? Yeah, here we go. My messy chart. It was a bigger pattern. It's a bigger triangle pattern there that I'm looking at. And I had the, oops.
That is a big trade.
Yeah, $1.63. That was one of the really bigger patterns. That's $1.63. Let's see if I can find that for you. Yeah, here it is here, this really big triangle that we've been in.
Yeah.
It's this one here. Chong, there it is there. This is big. Look, see, we've been in it for quite some time. And it is the measurement from the top to the bottom. And depending on where we break out, if we break out sooner, then obviously we could go to $2. And if we break out later, then the price is going to come down. But I would be watching that. The first hurdle, obviously, is this golden ratio. So I think we've got time very briefly for ADA, and then we will go and
Cardano, our dearest love. Such a good coin.
ADA's great. Yeah, look, we're due for a correction. Even though this looks like this could be a bull pennant.
Yeah, it's really looking like a nice bull pennant, actually.
That's on the 30-minute, actually, though. So we need to get that confirmed on the 1 hourly. Right. So we're right up against the resistance of, of this bigger pattern, which is the bigger triangle that we've been in for a couple of months, right? Here it is here. The top there to the bottom there is, oh, let me just go into the daily so I can show that to you. Look at this. This is amazing. Like there's no sloping down. It's just like we are just going up, right? And up and up. So let's have a look at this triangle here, which we've come into from the upside, which means it's 80% likely to break to the upside, which would take us to $3.50, which means we're actually in price exploration. And if you have a look at a few days of potentially getting some kind of correction, we could come back down to $2.63, go down to the bottom of this. Let's go to the 4 hourly, get a closer look at it. And then it looks like we're going to be taking off in a week as far as the Ichimoku Cloud is concerned. And we're above all of the moving averages. I'll just turn those off at the moment. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. We've broken out of this downward wedge and we're coming up to the resistance at around 290. So that's, we need to wait. If you're going to do a trade, I think it's a bit too early to break to the upside, Teresa, because look, we're the 1st of September and the pinnacle is around the 14th of September. So we could be getting another crash back down to around $2.60, 62 cents, something like that. In which case, you know, we start getting a red candle and we've got Ichimoku Cloud red, we could short that. And then or long it when we bounce back up to come back up, because by that time I think we could be breaking to the upside. But this is a bit contradictory because this pattern is bullish, the Ichimoku is bullish, but normally when you break out of these patterns too early, they end up being fake outs. Hey.
Yeah, I would agree. So I think the strongest thing for us to see is that it cycles in this pennant one more time.
Yeah, definitely. That it comes back down, hits. Within this Ichimoku Cloud, whenever you get these straight lines in the Ichimoku Cloud, they are classic. They are classic areas where we could get dumps.
Yeah.
So,
but you know, we often see that where it doesn't come all the way down to the bottom of the pattern when it's getting ready to break out, which it just did. It didn't come all the way down to the bottom of the pattern, right? So,
it came down.
We might be about to see a breakout here. It'll be interesting to watch.
$2.72. It created a higher high at $2.72. So when it comes back down, it might only come back down to $1.71, right? Or $1.72 or 3. Or it could come all the way down to the bottom. We don't know, but you just watch out for that. But there isn't a trade here in ADA right now. We've had too much of a rally, so we want to wait and see what happens with this formation on the 1 hour of a potential bull pennant or a correction back down to test the sloping area here as support. And look at this, Ichimoku Cloud red ahead. Red ahead means a correction to the downside, right?
Yeah.
So awesome.
We need a poem like they have for sailors, like evening gray and morning red sends a traveler home to bed.
Oh,
it's got to be like Ichimoku green and not so red.
Hey, well,
we need to invent. So if you guys can invent an Ichimoku poem for us, put it in the chat. You know, we'll shout you out on the channel. I think that would be really fun if there's poets out there amongst you. And we'll actually even give it at the Conscious Crypto event if somebody comes up with a good Ichimoku poem for us.
Totally. We're going to be sitting down and breaking and working on your strategies, guys. So it's not just an event where everybody's speaking at you. We're going to be doing some workshopping. You've got a lot of question and answers. Get your portfolio out, look at your altcoins, make sure you've got the right strategies. We're going to do breakout sessions where you get to meet people online. I'm just going to put the link here for you to get your early bird ticket. Do you want to talk a little bit about the 3 days?
Yeah, we are super excited about these 3 days because we pulled in all the experts, YouTubers, mentors, people we like to learn from, right? And you will not see a more powerful group in one place in the cryptocurrency conversation, right? So we've got Crypto, we've got DaVinci J15, we've got Rob from Digital Asset News, we've got Jeroen van Lange from the blockchain today. I think we're just confirming Crypto Wendy, fingers crossed. She's just brilliant in terms of altcoins. And, you know, what I'm actually really excited about is we've got both Emery from Crypto Tax and Michael Rosmer from Offshore Citizen, so that you can really start to understand what are the upcoming tax implications of owning crypto, trading crypto. And not only that, but for those of you that are interested in like, should I have my residency elsewhere or should I be setting up offshore corporations? Like, how do I house all this? And how do I manage my investments from the standpoint that the government doesn't take it all? I think those are going to be just awesome sessions to help us really roll up our sleeves and get our setups handled. You know, I know having gone through the process of switching countries and giving up residency in one country and gaining residency in another, like there's a lot to learn there. And, you know, if you really do it powerfully, you get to hold on to your wealth a lot more easily, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm super excited to hear what they have to say. Like if they take volunteers, I'm throwing my hand up, you know. And so you'll be able to actually post your questions and post your scenarios on the chat, especially if you're in the VIP group.
Mhm.
Um, so
Yeah.
you can actually put real scenarios in front of these speakers to have them have a look at. So um, just like get your ticket, guys. This is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
We know you've lost more on than on individual trades than this
Yeah.
amount of money, right? And all of the proceeds are going into our infrastructure projects here in our community in Costa Rica.
Mm.
So just invest in yourself. Come.
Yeah, it's like every dollar you invest in yourself, I think, is about $1,000 that you don't lose in trading because you know more, right? And you've got the right strategies, and it's going to be 3 days of amazingness, and you're going to get to meet a lot of really amazing people in our community. So I dropped the link in the chat there. It's also in the description. Make sure you go over and you get your ticket. We are hosting this on Zoom, which means there's only a certain number of seats we can take. And as soon as those tickets are sold, you will not be able to get in. So you don't want to drag your feet on that. And I think we've also added the ability to pay the ticket off over a couple of months, so you don't have to pay it all up front. So if that's the sort of thing that you need to manage your cash flow, that is available for you as well. So we'll see you Friday. Thanks very much, Teresa, for joining us today, and thanks to me for being happy and healthy enough to be able to do a live stream.
So good
Would
to have
love
you
for you
back.
to like the video if you're new to our channel. Obviously, you want to subscribe and be part of our amazing community. And we will see you on Friday.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Okay, that's good. 18.